The doctors were shocked when they discovered a tumor inside a silicone doll during an MRI scan. What seemed like a bizarre situation quickly escalated when the doll was rushed into surgery with all the proper medical procedures and professional tools. The story begins a day before, when Sava went on a date with a woman who had a secret crush on her. During the date, when the woman confessed her feelings, Sava abruptly rejected her. To her surprise, Sava's eyes started bleeding right then. Meanwhile, Dr. House's team was not focusing on his condition, as House was enjoying the services of his personal health assistant, who had just resigned. After some analysis, the team speculated that Sava might have a blood clot in his brain, causing pressure that led to the eye bleeding. They suggested a brain angiogram to check for blockages. While preparing for the test, Sava's companion, a woman who had been with him, asked if they should inform his girlfriend. Sava refused, causing some suspicion among the doctors, especially Dr. Adams, who felt something was off. As Sava went through tests, another incident occurred. A young man came to speak to Dr. Park, informing him that a guitar had been sold to someone else. Dr. Park seemed disappointed, but his colleague, Dr. Taub, quickly picked up on the situation, teasing Dr. Park about the young man's clear interest in him. After some back and forth, the young man returned, inviting Dr. Park to a band rehearsal, which he eagerly accepted. Later, Adams and Dr. Chases examined Sava's test results and found no blood clot in his brain. However, they were puzzled by his reluctance to involve his girlfriend and suspected Sava might be hallucinating a girlfriend, possibly due to drug use. House, always skeptical of straightforward answers, suggested they search Sava's house. When they arrived, they discovered a woman lying on Sava's bed, unresponsive, but to their shock, after closer inspection, they found it was not a woman at all. It was a silicone doll. The team then took the doll to the hospital, suspecting that Sava's mental state might be the cause of his delusions. However, Sava admitted he knew the doll wasn't real, but he found comfort in it, feeling it would never betray him, unlike people. As they were preparing to examine the doll further, Dr. Chases noticed Sava had developed a fever. The team suspected bacterial infection could be the cause, but Sava's situation seemed more complicated. After some teasing from Dr. Taub, House acknowledged that he too had a similar attachment issue, though he had hired a real woman instead of a doll. The doctors continued with their investigation, taking the doll for an MRI to look for any anomalies. To their surprise, they found a bubble inside the doll. After consulting with Sava, they prepared to perform surgery to investigate how the bubble had formed. However, just as Dr. Adams was about to begin the procedure, they noticed Sava was in tears, clearly distraught. After some hesitation, the team proceeded with the surgery, opening up the doll to check for any problems. When they finished, Sava eagerly checked the doll, relieved that it was fine, but surprised to see that Dr. Adams had stitched it up and even bandaged it. Just as Sava began to thank Dr. Adams, he suddenly collapsed from difficulty breathing. Adams immediately called for emergency help, signaling that things were far from over.